Oh no! The fat man is gonna blow his nose. Deeply sorry, folks. For some reason, my allergies have been going mad today. I don't know why. Now, I don't know how big this is going to go over on a Sunday night. I originally wasn't even going to do a video, but I was like, you know what? I haven't talked to y'all in a while, and I got to get back in the habit of venting a little bit every now and then, having a conversation with y'all. What's going on is, you'll notice the title of the video is "Can You Smell the Sour Grapes?" The reason why I put that up there is because, hello there, Eric, who just popped in. I know a Dalek named after you. Well, not after you in particular, but same name. What happened is it's funny to me because the fact they've announced that Chibnall and Whitaker are going next year, 2022. Yet you still got the same gaggle of morons running around out there screaming their heads off, throwing fits, attacking people online. And it just blows my mind. I'm like, you guys, like I've been telling you for the last 4 years, if you don't like what's going on with Doctor Who right now, it's going to change. That's the way it always has been. That's the way it always will be. Oh, hello, everybody coming in. That's the way it will remain. One of the reasons why Doctor Who has stayed so popular is the fact that it can change. Now, I actually had this guy who put this rant on Facebook, and a part of me wishes I had copied it down because I really wanted to turn it into another rant from the fandom, and because I haven't done one of those in a couple of years. Because he keeps going on and on about the very fact that they put Jodie Whittaker on the show, somehow broke. Get ready for this. Here's your favorite 2 words. Established canon. And I'm like... And I the only comment I left, and I literally left the comment, I turned off notifications on the post, because I don't even bother to reply to these things anymore, really, is I said, you haven't been watching this show very long, have you? Because of the fact that you used I was like, established canon is about the same, as military intelligence. As far as Doctor Who's concerned, it's a contradiction in terms. Because literally everything you know, see, or think you know about the Doctor has been the result of so much change over 57 years. Or of going on 58 now, actually, coming up. That, if you're talking about established canon, that would mean, okay, let's go all the way back to Hartnell. The show should have ended then. Because guess what? The Doctor was never a Time Lord until the War Games. I know I've repeated this rant on you a bunch of times, but this is for people who are just coming into this video. There were no Time Lords until the War Games. Doctor didn't have 2 hearts. That wasn't established until Spearhead from Space. Matter of fact, regeneration as a process or anything like that did not have a name until Pertwee's last episode, Planet of the Spiders. Gallifrey didn't have a name until the Time Warrior. So, come on, let's keep talking about established canon. And then, of course, they go on about the Timeless Children thing, and I keep telling them, look, when Hinchcliffe did the episode Brain of Morbius, there were no guidelines. Nobody knew the age of the Doctor. Nobody knew how long he'd been around. Nobody knew how long he'd been around before Hartnell, and that's what they exploited in Brain of Morbius. It wasn't until A Deadly Assassin, which came by a little bit later, that suddenly you had the 12 regeneration limit. And, once again, Brain of Morbius, rewrote a lot. Because remember, in the 3 Doctors, it was Omega who was the stellar engineer who jump-started a supernova to power the original time travel facility. And then when you get all the way to Deadly Assassin, it became Rassilon, harnessed the Eye of Harmony, aka a black hole, which was allegedly underneath the Panopticon on Gallifrey and powered the entire time travel facility. Matter of fact, TARDISes were not self-powered. And that was brought in way later. Originally, the entire time travel facility was by power transmitted from Gallifrey from the Panopticon. So when you get around, of course, by the time you get to McGann, now, trust me, when I first watched the 96 movie, I was like, why the hell's the Eye of Harmony in the TARDIS? The Eye of Harmony is supposed to be back on Gallifrey. And of course, there was a whole lot of things that were established in the 96 movie that weren't really carried over later, such as the Doctor's half-human heritage and things along that line. It's been hinted at since then, but it's, kind of been swept under the rug. You'd think those guys would be happy about the Timeless Children because it kind of killed that Doctor's half-human thing kicked it right out the window. Yeah, same here. I wish they would bring Omega back. I really do. The last time we saw Omega, of course, was in Arc of Infinity, which was a Peter Davison episode. So the TV movie, once they got the Timeless Children, you can pretty much kiss the whole half-human thing goodbye. But at the same time, I keep telling people, if you don't like the Timeless Children arc, you got to remember, the Master was going off records that have been buried in the Matrix so deep, that this could have been manipulated data. The Doctor's always been a big scapegoat, for things going on. Like Omega picked the Doctor, for the body transference all the way back in Arc of Infinity. Plus, the Doctor's never on Gallifrey, so okay, if there's something going wrong. Matter of fact, I wouldn't be at least half-bit surprised that when Time Tots pee the bed, they don't go, the Doctor showed up in the middle of the night and did it. Because that's the way it is. It would be great, but the problem is I wanted Omega back on the 50th, and they didn't do it. That's why I love the fact these guys that talk about established canon, and they always attack Chibnall. I'm like, do you know how many times Moffat rewrote the original established canon? It's like, sheesh. Come on. I don't know about you, but when I found out about the whole Impossible Girl thing where, Clara's apparently gone back to every incarnation of the Doctor and saved him, I was like, sitting there scratching my head going, so you're basically telling me the Doctor was so incompetent that he had somebody saving him behind the scenes all these years? Not to mention, of course, Listen, where, Clara meets a young boy Doctor and, starts, giving him the whole don't be afraid lecture and basically establishes his whole mission right there for him. Yet, where were these guys then? Where were their screams? Where were the pitchforks? Where were the fiery torches marching towards Rothlock? Well, that did start happening later on. They really did go after Moffat for a while there. And you know what? Like I said, I had a bit of a chip on my shoulder against Moffat, but the more I began to realize just how things work behind the scenes on the show, I had to let him go. It's not all his fault. There's things, that, I love how everybody thinks because you're showrunner, you have absolute power. And it's like, wait a minute, hold it. It's like, no, you don't. Because, as showrunner for Doctor Who, you are still an employee of the British Broadcasting Corporation, which means you answer to the boys up on floor 6. You're still, a minion. You're just you're a higher rated minion, but you're still a minion. And if they say do this, you got to do this. And I know they let Chibnall get away with quite a bit because they didn't have anybody else take the job. It's like, come on, that's kind of sad. Well, Clara had her good points, but I think she stayed on too long. There's that story they allegedly asked her to come back, and they hijacked her and said, look, and I really wish they hadn't. They should have had Bill Potts come in a year earlier. I loved Bill. I think she should have gotten more development than she got. So, it could be that too, Bree. Like I said, a lot. It's funny how a lot of this started the second they found out the Doctor lost his wiener. It's been 10 times worse than when, remember when Capaldi, became the Doctor? Oh my God, he's too old. You've got to be kidding me. Whose butt am I going to stare at? He's got a bony butt. Oh, sheesh. It's just amazing to me. Well, you could say that. Yeah, Moffat did lean more towards an adult angle. I got to give you that. But you got to remember, when Chibnall stepped into this show, the last season it only scored 5.5 million viewers. And like I said, that's not necessarily Capaldi and Moffat's fault. You got to remember, they made him take a year off, in 2016, which to me boggles my mind to this day why the hell they did that. They're claiming, well, we can't do Doctor Who this year, but we're going to do it this year. We're going to air one of our episodes same night as the World Cup football tournament. It's like, duh. Ugh. But okay, yeah, no, I don't think the Doctor and the Master are related in any way. Even in the books and things like that I have picked up, they were simply childhood friends who went in very different directions. Now, if you've ever listened to Master, which is a Big Finish audio, Sylvester McCoy, Jeffrey Beavers, brilliant in that one. They do give you what could be a backstory to what happened, that led them down different paths. But like I said, you got to remember, you got to take that, in a way, is it your canon? Is it someone else? See, that's what's weird. We keep talking about canons, and this ain't even warfare. Yeah, I kind of did this one on the fly. Thank you for coming over, Lads Lounge. Like I said, I just decided to throw this together because it blows my mind, the fact that, they've announced, Whittaker and Chibnall are leaving, yet you've still got the same bunch of, goblins out there, hurling arrows into the nether sphere, screaming and crying like the world's over. Well, that's up to you. Like I said, I'm not going to preach to you. I'm not going to say like this or not. There are people who were against, various doctors over the years for various reasons. So that's up to you. Okay, so let's give you what little I do have for you since we got a few people in here. I was just going to do this very quickly because, I have to work in the morning. All right, first up on deck, we got Listen to the Radio Times. Well, actually, no, that's the last article I had. Okay, here we go. Doctor Who doesn't need to die, it just needs to regenerate. Now, I've read this article, and like I said, the problem is, to me, yeah, I liked it too often. It was felt like Whittaker was made to channel other doctors. Okay, what Doctor Who needs next is a showrunner who can marry the crummy and the extraordinary together, who's willing to get experimental. That's what Chibnall did, and you bent him over a desk and went, you see what I mean? I like that. Because, yeah. And then, there's a little mild speculation here, but the thing of the matter is this. You're not telling me something I don't already know. Because if you've been watching this show for a long time, or even if you haven't, you've done a little research, this show has changed administrations as well as, actors who played the Doctor, every few years, going all the way back to way knows when. And that's one of the reasons why it survived in the first place. The constant change. That's one of the reasons Walking Dead made it as long as it has. I think you only got like 1 or 2 people now that are left from the first season. Everybody else has been brought in later, and heck, there's been people, who didn't even last that long. Okay, join the Doctor in a role-play adventure. And here we go. It's you want to join the Doctor in your own role-playing game. Ahead of release of Doctor Who the Role-Playing 2nd Edition, you get a new free PDF to help you get started. And this is one called the Einstein Engine. If you want to download it, here's a link here. Go look at it. So Doctor Who the Role-Playing game. Like I said, role-playing games I used to do a lot. Here's a little synopsis if you're into that. Boom, boom, boom. Here we go. Okay, what do we know about Dan Lewis? And of course, up till recently, we didn't even have a last name for that character. We just found out at Comic-Con his last name's Lewis. All right, Okay, now people, although Bishop's has protested, see, I lost my voice there for a minute. I don't know what happened. I was just reading and suddenly, my left lobe just went off into the twilight zone. Okay, although Bishop protested that this fact is all he revealed to the students, information he gave was a bit more involved. He goes, quote, Chris Chibnall, who's the showrunner, blah, blah, blah. He wants to base it in Liverpool because the series always begins from somewhere. Last one was from Sheffield, so he wanted this one to be based in Liverpool, and that's where the Doctor is going to get the new companion. And basically, it's a lot of stuff we already knew. All right, Dan Lewis's parents are played by fellow Scouse actors Paul Broughton, and I'm sorry if I didn't, if I sabotaged that, I killed it. Or destroyed it with my pronunciation. New Susan Murphy will feature in the first episode, apparently featuring, a Sontaran invasion of Earth, according to filming photos. So there's a lot of nifty stuff in here, but if you're looking to avoid spoilers, I just killed it for you. And of course, we're all still wondering who the heck this Joker is. That photo's been drifting around for a few months now. Great, I'll have to put a spoiler warning on this. Too late. Okay. Now here's the big piece of speculation. Is Sally Wainwright the next Doctor Who showrunner? The rumors explain. Now, fan speculation has the Gentleman Jack writer as a hot favorite to replace Chris Chibnall. Now, here we go. Okay, not an entirely unreasonable suggestion, what with the BAFTA winner being a highly respected writer-producer with a back catalog of big TV drama hits, including Last Tango in Halifax, Happy Valley, and Gentleman Jack. But then last week a rumor surfaced that Wainwright was a hot favorite to be Chibnall's replacement. And so where'd this rumor come from? It all seems to have originated from the YouTube channel Council of Geeks, or rather its subsidiary channel Break Room of Geeks, in a video posted on 4th of August. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, I heard it from the same source he did. So he's not jumping the gun. He's not pulling this out of his rear, okay? The problem is, it could have been me, but I was off in a funk. I got a lot of things going on right now. I didn't read my some of my messages, and sure enough, I had been messaged the same info about the same time he was. It's just, I had a lot of things on my plate at the time. So I didn't really get a chance to sit down and go through messages. And they're going into, speculation and things like that as to where it came from. Okay, notably, Wainwright cited Russell T Davies' version of Doctor Who as a direct inspiration for the planned overhaul. BBC has asked me to take over Robin Hood in the way Russell does on Doctor Who. I wanted to model Robin Hood more on Doctor Who in terms of quality and scriptive direction. So, okay, then he goes on a little bit more about Robin Hood. So while it's far from guaranteed she'll be the one to head up the new generation of Who, Sally Wainwright's positioning as a fan favorite for showrunner might actually have more to back it up than just unconfirmed rumors and wishful thinking. As a producer of Doctor Who of the past was fond of saying, stay tuned. So they're not denying it. They're not outright saying it's not going to happen. And of course, you can listen to the Radio Times, the podcast, who will be the next showrunner. And here's a little link to it, whatnot, if you need it. So I just included that along because boom, all right. Okay, so let me get back to the comment box here. No Osgood, no thank you. There's too many Osgoods right now as it is. Okay. Yeah, so Council of Geeks was the first one to put this out. And a friend of mine linked me the video, and then I contacted some people I know, and they're like, dude, didn't you check your inbox? We told you the same thing that day. I'm like, oh, crap. But he's got a lot more subscribers. You see, if I had broadcast it, somebody else would have still gotten the credit anyway. Because I fly under the radar as much as I can. Once you get too popular, they start watching your stuff. Or they let you get away with copyright stuff all the time. And yeah, there's too many Osgoods running around. And, could Ingrid Oliver do it? Conceivably, but that would be kind of bad for me because I'm kind of on bad footing with Ingrid Oliver to this day over a misunderstanding, which I won't go back into. But I'm glad to see at least 40 of you here on a Sunday night. People go, I got thousands of people who watch my channel. I'm happy if I got 10. 20, 30, I'm ecstatic. 40, I'm excited. Parts of me are going, oopie, hippie, hippie. I'm a dancing up and down like the spoon. Okay, see, prop comedy. You don't get that anywhere else, do you? Oops, if you heard that, I'm sorry. All right. Now, the thing is this. A lot of people, of course, still harping on Chibnall about Series 11. And I'm like, guys, do we have short-term memory loss in this fandom? Because one of the things I kept hearing over and over and over again towards the end of the Moffat era, the Daleks are overused. The Cybermen are getting old. And I'm like, so a guy comes out and goes, I'm going to create all new villains. And next thing you know, you see the crucifix being taken out and mounted and the nails being brought out. You see what I mean? It's like, ugh. I know everybody's like, You got some guys out there who swear to God, there was never anything wrong with the classic series. And I'm like, dude, do you remember Time Lash? Do you remember Paradise Towers? Do you remember, oh, goodness gracious, Delta and the Bannerman? Oh, not, some of those, I still love to watch them, but not exactly, on par with the great quality writing we got. Yeah, the thing is this, yeah, the way they're talking, you could be winding up with the rest, because if it is Wainwright, thank you, Jamie Knight, for bringing that up. If it is Wainwright, you got to remember, Lookout Studios, which is what she's under, is currently signed up to do a couple of things for Disney Plus. So it could be Doctor Who's getting a rest anyway. We don't know anything yet. It's early days. Don't go screaming, the sky is falling yet. But, yeah, well, yeah, okay, Belinda, you're talking about, oh, God, I can't believe I blanked. Wilfred Mott. Yeah, I loved Wilf. I thought Wilf was an amazing character. And the scary part is you only got Wilf because of some very sad circumstances. Originally, we were supposed to see the character of Donna's father doing a lot of the stuff Wilf did, but sadly the actor who portrayed him passed away. And that's why Wilf just happened to be, brought in to fill in the gap, so to speak. Which, like I said, it was very serendipitous. Sadly, someone did pass away, but, we got Wilfred Mott in exchange, a lot more of Wilfred Mott than his appearance, and of course, Voyage of the Damned, which I make fun of because it's like, come on. Who thought this would be one of the more popular episodes? But of course, Kylie Minogue, really brought in those numbers. Well, like I said, we can't. All right, Lads Lounge. I'm not too sure Doctor Who will do well under that production, really, but we'll see. Like, I agree with you. We just have to sit back and wait. Oh, okay, I'm loving some of these comments in the box here. I love it. I get a little snicker every now and then. Yeah, Mel Bush. Like I said, I think she got robbed on the show. We didn't get as much as we could have out of her, which is why I really loved it when they brought Bonnie Langford into Big Finish, because there are so many great stories where they used Mel properly. They gave her a lot better writing. They gave her, they actually got to use her computer background and things like that. Oh, okay, that's a good point, Jamie. If she could have been the original Timeless Child, maybe she was human on her mother's side. We don't know. Yeah, I would still like to see the Sontarans Angels. Thank you, Mello. I would too. I'd really love to see that, a Sontaran biker gang. Yeah, the 50s setting, like I said, I got to go back and rewatch it, because after I've spent so long playing Fallout, and a lot of it is based off the 50s aspect of what would the future be like and things like that, 50s songs, and there's characters with 50s garb and stuff like that. So maybe I'd get a whole new love for it if I went back and rewatched it again. Yeah, Tony Silby, thankfully, is still with us. Yeah, Lex Ruptor brought about What If Sabalom Glitz came back. I still can't believe Mel ditched the Doctor for Sabalom Glitz, of all people. And plus, the guy who wrote for Ace, that guy was, oh, man. Apparently he was trying to imply in the books, now, please grab onto your seats and, hang on. He wanted it implied in the series and all that apparently, Ace had lost her virginity to Sabalom Glitz. And I'm like, not exactly a good place to discuss this, okay? But also, I think Ace would have had better sense, okay? Is there ever an episode of the show where no one dies? There's been a few, actually. Everybody Lives. Matter of fact, I don't believe any... Yeah, there have been episodes where people have not died. You just got to go look for them. I don't think anybody died in Empty Child Doctor's Dances, really, did they? Other than poor Jamie, yeah, you're right, the poor kid at the beginning. But of course, he got resurrected, so that kind of don't count. Spoiler alert! Well, come on, that was 2005, all right? Yep. Empty Child, Dr. Dances. I still love that two-parter. You know what really ticks me off? When I went back and I was rewatching some stuff on reaction channels for Capaldi. It's the reactions were all great. It's not them. It's just to this day, I've seen people watch the Zygon inversion speech, and they're still tearing up. How many years later? I still tear up when I listen to that speech. Yet that right there, that should have been BAFTA. Boom, that should have been Emmy. Bam. They robbed Capaldi on that one. Ugh. Betty! Oh God. Just when I thought I had Ghost Clara and Orphan 55 erased from my brain, somebody had to bring that up. Oh my goodness gracious. Ugh. But like I said, and I will never stop bringing this up, if everyone else, all they had to do was put a thing on their nose to get oxygen, why was Benny running around with a full-size oxygen tank? I still don't get that. But oh well. Yeah, Moffat didn't kill anybody. Yeah, he really, really cut down on that. Plus, another thing that upset me is when they always went into the far-flung future, like billions of years of future, yet Homo sapiens is still running around. It's like, wow, that's kind of a bad opinion on us. It's like, look at how far we've evolved in like 200,000 years, and we're still running around in these flesh bags, 12 trillion years into the future. Yeah, they should, in my firm opinion, Amy Rory should not have been in season 7. Dragging them back for 5 episodes was pointless. I would have left them where they were, living their lives. But it was also part of the agreed thing that when Karen Gillan agreed to come back, she wanted Amy Pond to leave in a way that, that she could not be brought back. Yet, what does she do when she finds out they want, ask her to come back for Matt's final scene that they're going to reshoot? Guess what? She comes back for that. Yeah, I loved him in Suicide Squad as Gaius Greaves. I thought he was a great thinker. Yeah. Maybe we should have cut the amount of times Benny was yelled. Yeah, I agree with you on that one. Yeah, we brought back the Silurians. Why can't we bring back, the Sea Devils? I agree with you on that one, Mello. Yeah, I loved the Suicide Squad. I got to see it a little while back. That's all the magic of James Gunn. And I can't believe that originally they were talking about not letting him direct the frickin' movie. I'm like, guys, come on. This guy did Guardians of the Galaxy, all of them, and knocked them out of the park. And yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know how that worked out, Black Phoenix, but just the fact that, the only really evolved thing we saw that was supposed to be the last human was Cassandra. The screaming trampoline, as I like to call her. Yeah, Vashta Narada would be great for us for episode or two. Elon Musk, I don't know. Yeah, the Draconians, I missed them. Thank you, William. Okay, the big is British TV shows on cable TV dying. Jessica asks. The thing is this. The BBC has got a lot of things going against it at this point. Okay, it's just, it's very hard to survive in today's TV industry when you've got hundreds of streaming channels. Yet the second Suicide Squad movie is pretty good. The first one was okay. I still don't get what the hell they were thinking with Jared Leto's Joker. Because, to me, Margot Robbie on her own as Harley Quinn is incredible. Oh, yeah, trivia bit for you folks who have seen The Suicide Squad. And I found this out this week, and it knocked me on my butt. The scene where Harley Quinn's locked up in the chains, Margot Robbie actually did the trick where she picked up the key with her foot and put the key in the lock. She actually did that. That wasn't a stunt person. Yeah, a lot of people are no longer paying the license because you can go out and get, hundreds of streaming channels for, next to nothing with your internet service. Plus the fact that if you're over a certain age, you don't have to pay a BBC license anymore. So a lot of things are shifting around over there. And it's been, really, a lot of people are really worried about will the BBC be around even a decade from now, let alone 2 decades from now. So it's a whole new ball game out there. Well, folks, I can't stay on too much longer, but I'm going to read here for a few more minutes because, like I said, I got to be up 4 a.m. Also, the super chat is on. I keep mentioning it. Very few people use it, but any little bit helps. Okay. Yeah, I used to have all kinds of cable channels, but the problem is back in the day, by the time I got home, it was usually like between 4 and 5 in the morning, and you're sitting there going through all these channels, and all of it's infomercials. I'm like, get this out of here. It's like, why am I paying just to come home and watch infomercials? Yeah, I'll give you a few more minutes yet, so don't worry yet. So I got rid of cable a long time ago. It's like, that's okay. I turned 50 this year. You're not old at 40. Well, you got to remember, Black Phoenix, as the doctor said, there had never been a Time Lord human meta crisis before. And he's not exactly a medical specialist, so I don't think he would have known how to solve that. So he did the only thing he could do. Nah, I don't watch TV on an antenna. These days I watch streaming channels. For the most part. Okay. Yeah, if you can, go out and buy a smart TV. They're not as expensive as they used to be. As long as you have a decent internet connection with some Wi-Fi, boom, you're set. And that's been far better. Or if you don't have a smart TV, get a Roku stick. I had one of those for a while, and they were amazing. It was easy to set up, easy to hook up. And I was getting, hundreds of channels between Pluto, Tubi, and stuff like that. You don't really, why go out and pay for cable television? It's like, heck, Pluto TV, I can watch classic Doctor Who for free. They got a whole channel of it. I know the feeling. Eric, I'm 50. Like I said, I'm diabetic. I got arthritis in both ankles and feet. I have no venular circulation from mid-calf down in either of my legs. So, just a few things. I could agree with you there. I'm like a Toyota. Everything's rusting apart around the engine here. So it's like, Yeah, okay, you're streaming TV through your PS4. See, there you go.
Don't forget to talk about the CW.
What about the CW?
Get some good shows on there, too.
Hey, this ain't your show. Get out of here.
I'm helping you with your show, you dumbass.
Well, yeah, there's good shows on the CW. Yeah, but...
And it's free.
Yeah, because if you watch any of the shows on the CW, like the Arrowverse or anything like that, you can get that for free through, Roku stick and things like that. Well, folks, yeah, I think I'm going to go with your advice because we're going on about 35 minutes. And like I said, I got to be up at 4 a.m. So everyone, please take care of yourselves. Watch out for another. I know some areas there's been a quote-unquote resurgence in COVID. And it's like they keep going on about the Delta variant. And every time I read that, I keep thinking about the Lambda variant from like Space 1999. I'm like, wait a minute. But okay. Yeah, I quit watching Batwoman. I didn't make it to the first season. I really tried. I'm not kidding. It's just Alice got to be so repetitive and boring. I just couldn't stand it. Wait, who's what in the background? That lady's voice. Don't listen to her. She's not in it.
Hey.
That,
Who's asking about me?
somebody said, "Who's that in the background?" Oh, Jessica did. Yeah, that's my wife. That's Lady Gallifrey. She's always somewhere around here. So I'm going to get on out of here because my left nostril's closing, if you can't tell already. My allergies have been really bad today. Plus, I got to go get something to drink because I run out of tea about halfway through. So everyone, please take care of yourselves. Wash your hands. If you got to wear a mask in the hospital, wear your mask, do all that stuff. Just be careful out there. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you on the flip side. Everyone have a good night. Bye-bye.